Welcome back to WrestleSpective, the channel that brings the deep dives that nobody asked for. And today we're diving into a piece of wrestling history that's been kind of lost to its time. Those iconic, weird, and sometimes fraudulent 900 numbers. Those commercials and magazine ads that promise to reveal the secrets of your favorite superstars? What do you say we give one a call?
Hey, brother, thanks for calling the Hulkster Hotline. Hang on to get all of your Hulk news direct from the source. What you gonna do when the Hulkster Hotline runs wild on you?
Okay, this might take a while. So let's get into the history of pro wrestling hotlines. If you were a kid growing up in the 80s and 90s, then you remember the infamous 900 number. Starting off in the early 80s as an informational service and TV polling device, it didn't take long for the 900 prefix to become a money-making monster. In the mid-80s, AT&T opened up the 900 program from informational services to anyone that had an idea, and they set the price of a call up to $2 for the first minute. And by an idea, it seemingly meant any idea at all. 900 lines offered everything from somewhere to cry, psychics, dad jokes, and of course, hot singles in your area ready to chat. By 1989, all the major telecom companies had launched their own 900 line programs. This is when the floodgates truly opened. And the man behind a lot of this phenomenon? A gentleman named Bob Bentz. Back in the mid-80s, when the 900 line was used mostly for hot late-night adult fun, Bentz was working on ad sales at a CBS affiliate in Connecticut. Every quarter, they raised the price to purchase late-night ad time. And every quarter, these adult 900 line operators put up a fight but eventually paid the increased rate. Bentz thought there had to be some serious money in this. So he founded Advanced Telecom Services. ATS quickly established more mainstream lines, like a crossword line for folks stuck on the New York Daily News crossword puzzle. They had legitimate dating lines, and multiple lines for sports fans to keep up to date with their favorite teams, even if they didn't live in that team's market. But I bet when you think of 900 hotlines, you think of the celebrity lines. Well, ATS had a bunch of those. They ran 900 numbers for Michael Bolton, Pink Floyd, The Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff, and Michael J. Fox. They all, or at least their representatives, got a cut of the revenue. These celebrities, the phone companies, and service hosts like ATS were splitting hundreds of millions of dollars at the peak of 900 numbers. So obviously, wrestling got involved. ATS ran hotlines for several wrestlers, including Hulk Hogan. Speaking of which,
Thanks for waiting, dude. Still helping other little Hulkamaniacs get their 24-inch pythons. Be with you soon.
yeah, we'll try again later. And we can't leave out the most beloved hotline of our youth, the WWF Superstar line. An ATS rep or even Bentz himself would go out to all the pay-per-views and pull wrestlers right out of Gorilla after their matches for interviews on the Superstar line. A lot of these lines in the early 90s were harmless, fun trivia games where you could win prizes. Or like the early WCW line, you could call in and listen to a rundown of a future pay-per-view or a big show. Here's an example from a really rare recording from the WCW hotline in 1992.
We're going to be starting here, Mr. Soley, in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hello again, everybody. Lance Russell, along with my buddy Gordon Soley, and we're ready to talk to you about Clash of Champions coming up Wednesday night, originating Macon, Georgia. And Gordon, as usual, we got the choice spot. We get to call it all and be able to tell everybody on the 900 number what's happening.
We do indeed, Lance. And I'll tell you what, it's going to be a tremendous night of competition. I'm really excited about several matches that are going to be taking place.
Throughout the 1990s, in an effort to keep kids from calling 900 lines, the Federal Trade Commission imposed tons of regulations on the once seemingly unregulated industry. Regulations like making it mandatory for all 900 numbers to include a message at the beginning of calls explaining the potential cost and giving the caller a chance to hang up with no fee. Carriers had to allow customers the option to block the usage of all 900 numbers from their homes, and they also made it illegal to advertise numbers to children under the age of 12. Of course, us kids were warned to get our parents' permission before calling, which I'm sure we all did. I'm sure no parent of a wrestling fan ever had a surprise charge on the phone bill. Now, for every wrestling hotline like the Superstar line or WCW's original wrestling hotline that offered messages from wrestlers and trivia, there were others that offered inside dirt. Hotlines like this one promised all the backstage scoops on what your favorite stars were really like. Some of these more salacious lines were also endorsed by wrestlers, like the Captain Lou line, which enticed callers with Albano's no-holds-barred thoughts on Hulk Hogan, Lex Luger, and The Ultimate Warrior.
Yes, this is Captain Lou here, that's right. I'm on Ringside Insider. Yeah, you want the latest in wrestling news? You want to know the truth? You want to know about professional wrestling? That's right, yeah, you can call me. That's right, you heard me. I said call me right back. That's it. I want you to call me at Ringside Insider. I'm Captain Lou, baby, and tell you nothing but the truth. Woo! Captain Lou that's talking to you. That's right, yeah, right, okay, fine, right, yeah.
Call now, 1-900-407-RING, $2 per minute.
Oh, and the Warrior would also have his own hotline by 1994. However, if you were looking for real wrestling news like results and promotion departures, there were also premium hotlines for that need. Numbers like Coach Kurt's wrestling line, or ECW's hotline in the late 90s even advertised similar offerings. Then there was Mean Gene. Not long after entering WCW in 1993, Mean Gene Okerlund became the face and voice of the WCW hotline. And not much longer after that, the hotline went from tongue-in-cheek rumors to something a lot more deceitful. Let's be honest, some of these pitches sounded super sketchy. Call now and find out what former WWF champion is coming to WCW. Spoiler alert, it was never anyone we actually cared about. Or the time in 1995 when they posed the question, what 45-year-old former champion recently died? The advertising heavily implied Ric Flair. It was former AWA champion Jerry Blackwell. About 10,000 people called the hotline that day instead of the usual 800. Keep in mind, these calls were $1.49 a minute, and most calls were designed to exceed 5 minutes. This was the most lucrative day for the hotline, bringing in allegedly close to $75,000. You may be saying right now, how could someone be that stupid to fall for these bait headlines? Well, even now, online, people fall for clickbait all the time. We don't think of it the same way because usually we're not paying for the article. But it is the same idea. Create an intriguing headline or title, sometimes misrepresenting the content, to get your attention for monetary gain. You may also be asking why Mean Gene, someone so respected, would be attached to something so gross. Well, obviously it was for money. Supposedly, Okerlund took home 75% of the hotline profits. The stunt faced a lot of blowback, and Turner immediately pulled the reins in on the hotline. For the rest of its duration, it was back to milquetoast, non-controversial content.
I took that hotline over. It was doing approximately $350,000 a year in revenue. Jimmy Ross and others were doing it. But we got her up and running and started promoting it on the air. It ended up doing $3 million a year.
Wow. Did you ever feel sleazy by some of the cheap teases that you gave for it at all?
Yeah, I did, no question. But on the other hand, you got to have a little bit of that carny in you.
Exactly.
Humpty Diddy, tip the kitty, 3 throws for $1. Come on in, folks.
Right.
Sure.
As the novelty of these paid calls began to wear off, backlash grew. Fans started to finally catch on to the work, and the prevalence of the wrestling hotline began to dwindle. In 1992, PWI, for example, had about 5 hotline adverts. That number went down in 1997 to 2 ads, maybe 3 if you want to get into non-wrestling hotlines. By the late 90s, overregulation and the growth of the internet saw the decline of the 900 business. By 2000, the era of pro wrestling 900 numbers faded away, as they were replaced by online chat rooms and paid news sites. This included in the magazines, as hotline ads were replaced by website ads. Even the back cover of PWI, once featuring their own 900 line, was replaced. Though 900 numbers may be a relic of the past, their impact is still felt today. They paved the way for how modern fans consume and discuss wrestling. From social media to Reddit AMAs to subscription sites, that craving for inside scoops, backstage stories, and opinion remains strong among fans. Thankfully now, we're not spending $2 a minute to find out that the Motor City Machine Guns were joining WWE. Oh, I think we got through.
Thanks for calling the Brutus the Barber Beefcake Fan Club, brother. This is Terry. How can I help you?
Did you ever call one of these hotlines? Let me know about it in the comments. I'm Scott from WrestleSpective. Watch wrestling, love wrestling. Thanks for watching.